back. Very good morning to one and all. Hope you are all fine and doing well. Yes, you all know that we are dealing with the basic concepts of electrostatics, where we were started with the concept of charge. What are the basic properties of charge, and how to explain the concept of electrostatic force, either between like charges or unlike charges. Later, we have dealt about the influence of a charged particle in and around it, either on attracting or repelling surrounding charges. This influence can be done because of a point called electric field around the charged particle or body. Yes, that is a region around the charged particle up to where it can show its influence can be explained as electric field due to the charge. But this strength of the electric field gradually decreases if you are moving away from the source charge. And this strength of electric field at any point can be measured as intensity of electric field or electric field intensity represented by the letter E that we were discussed in the last class. Now here, the strength of electric field can be expressed, can be assessed using a physical quantity called electric field intensity. Apart from that, there is another physical quantity that explains about the strength of electric field at a point, and the physical quantity is electric potential. Electric potential at a point. In the electric field, will assess the strength of electric field at the particular point. Of course, this electric potential will be represented by the letter V, capital letter. Capital V. Yes, now how to define electric potential at a point? To understand this, let's look at this diagrammatic representation. Here there is a source charge Q, due to which there is an electric field around it. This is all electric field. This is all electric field due to the source charge Q. This is all electric field. Now the strength of electric field at a particular point can be measured as electric potential. But how to explain the electric potential at this particular point? To understand this, just let us suppose the point is at a distance r from the source charge. Now here I have a test charge Q. Of course, I told you that test charge must be always positive, which can't influence the source charge, whose magnitude should be very small compared to the source charge, so that the test charge cannot influence the source charge. Of course, the test charge can be influenced by the source charge. Yes, let us take a source charge beyond the electric field somewhere. Where? Somewhere. Somewhere means some indefinite distance. Indefinite distance. Maybe 300 meter away, maybe 1000 meter away, maybe 2000 meter away. But it is beyond the electric field at a point, my test charge. Now here I wish to take this test charge to a particular point in the electric field. From where? From infinite distance, from indefinite distance. Initially my test charge is at infinite distance, indefinite distance. Now I wish to bring the test charge Q to a particular point P. How is P? P is at a distance r from the source charge. But earlier your Q is at infinite distance. So when you wish to bring a positive test charge Q to a particular point P in the electric field, you need to do some work. We have to do some work against the electrostatic force. Sir, do we need to do work always? See, if the source charge is positive, then there is a force of repulsion on the test charge. So we have to do work against the electric field. If the source charge is negative, then while getting this test charge which is positive, electric field will do the work because it will attract. Like charges will attract, unlike charges will Sorry, unlike charges will attract, like charges will repel. So when this source charge is positive, your test charge is already positive. So there is electrical work done. Some work is done against the electric field. So my point is, I wish to bring a test charge from infinite distance to a particular point P in the electric field. I am going to get it. Some work is done. Then you may get the doubt, sir, along which path you are going to carry the charge? Is it along this path? Is it along this path? Is it along this path? Along which path you are going to carry the test charge? Next, if the point P is at a distance R, why can't you have another point which is at the same distance? Why can't we have another point which is at the same distance from the source charge? Then do the work done from infinite to P is different from the work done from infinite to A? These are the questions that you can raise during my explanation. So I have taken the electric field due to a source charge Q. I have taken a point P at a distance R. Now I am talking about the amount of work done to bring a test charge from infinite distance to a distance R in the electric field. But R means why it is to be only point P, it can be another point A which is at the same distance. Then where the work done is more, you may get the doubt. In both cases work done will be same. Because here in this situation it is from infinite to R distance. Earlier it is at infinite distance, now it is at R distance. Even when you are going to take the test charge to this point, it also means from infinite distance to R distance from the source charge. So the work done will be same, which is independent of the path. Along which path you are going to carry the test charge will not decide the work done. Work done is independent of the path here because electrostatic force is a conservative force. This is a little additional point. Conservative force. Conservative force means against which force your work is independent of the path, then we call it as conservative force. Electrostatic force is conservative force. That's why the work done against electric field is independent of the path. Hope you got clarity. For example, there is a rough floor. A rough floor is there. You wish to pull a truck or car on the rough floor. Then your work done depends on the path along which you are taking. Because there you need to do work against roughness, against friction. So frictional force is a non-conservative force. Because work done against friction depends on the frictional force offered by the surface. But work done against electrostatic force or electric field do not depend on the path. Such force is called conservative force. So whether you take this path or whether you take along with this path, the work done will be same. And moreover, here infinite to R distance, here also infinite to R distance, their work done will be same. Anyway, here according to my explanation, let us take W amount of work is done to carry a test charge Q from infinite distance to the particular point P in the electric field. The amount of work done to carry a test charge Q from infinite distance to the particular point is W. Then how much work is done to carry 1 coulomb of positive charge? Here your test charge of magnitude Q coulombs, work done is W. Then to carry 1 coulomb of a positive charge, how much work is to be done? Which is W by Q. Cost of 12 pence is 120 rupees. Then cost of each pen is 120 by 12. W is the amount of work done to carry a test charge Q coulomb from infinite to P. Then how much work is done to carry 1 coulomb of positive charge? Unit positive charge. Unit positive charge means 1 coulomb of positive charge. How much work is done for 1 coulomb of positive charge from infinite distance to the point P? It is a W by Q. It is a W by Q. W by Q is the amount of work done. The amount of work done to carry unit positive charge, where to where? From infinite distance to the particular point P in the electric field. This is the statement. W is work done to carry Q coulombs. Then for unit positive charge, W by Q, which is defined as electric potential at that point P. Here is the conclusion. So how to measure the electric potential at a point? Electric potential at a point is the measure of work done per unit positive charge. Work done per unit positive charge, like cost per ton, work done per unit positive charge to carry from infinite distance to P in the electric field. This is the basic definition of electric potential. So then what is electric potential at A? Will be same as that P, because both P and A are equidistant from Q. So P and A will be at same potential. Remember that. Because work done is independent of the path. So whether you take from infinite to P or you take from infinite to infinite to A, both are at equidistant from Q. That's why potential at P and A will be same. So finally I am concluding, the electric potential at a point will give the strength of the electric field at that point. You may ask me, sir, how it gives the strength of the electric field? Yes, I am telling you. Here, if greater work is done to carry the test charge, then greater potential at this point. If lesser work is done to carry the test charge, then less electric potential is there at that point. Because the greater the potential, greater the work done, because the greater the repulsion by the electrostatic force. So if the field is stronger at this point, then repulsion will be more, then more work is to be done. That's why greater the potential, greater the work done, lesser the potential, lesser the work done. So the electric potential at a point is defined as the amount of work done to carry unit positive charge from infinite distance to the particular point in the electric field. Let us take W is the amount of work done to carry a test charge Q from infinite distance to the point P in the electric field. Then electric potential at that point P will be equal to W by Q. Hope while I am stating things, you are going to write the running notes. That is what you need to write even in the notes regarding their definition. So I have given to you the definition of electric potential, and its a formula V is equal to W by Q. As V equal to W by Q, which is electric potential at a particular point, V equal to W by Q. Now here, work done measured in terms of joule, charge measured in terms of coulomb. So the unit of electric potential is joule per coulomb. But here, joule per coulomb is also known as volt, which is capital U. These are the units of electric potential, joule per coulomb or volt. That's the unit of electric potential, SI unit of electric potential. In electrostatic, we do come across SI units only but not CGS units. And a little more analysis here. As V equal to W by Q, I can write W equal to BQ. What does it mean? If at a point the electric potential is V, at a point electric potential is V, then to carry a test charge Q from infinite distance to that point, then work done W equal to V into Q. Have you got the logic? At a point electric potential is V, then the amount of work done to carry the test charge from infinite distance to the particular point, W equal to VQ. So like P, if the point A is at same distance from source charge, if the point B is at same distance from the source charge, then the potential at P, A, B will be same. If you are going to join all these points which are equidistant from source charge, potentials will be same. then such surface is called equipotential surface. An imaginary surface that can be obtained on joining all the locations which are at same potential, that imaginary surface is called equipotential surface. Whatever it is, what you need to learn from this particular point, it's all about the definition of electric potential. I repeat, the amount of work done to carry unit positive charge from infinite distance to the particular point is electric potential. See here, as the source charge is positive, there is a force of repulsion while getting the test charge Q. Greater the positive charge, greater the repulsion. Suppose here 2 coulombs are there is some repulsion. But here 20 coulombs is there is more repulsion. 100 coulombs is there is more repulsion. So greater the source charge, which is positive, greater the repulsion, so greater work is done. That's why greater the potential at this point. So the conclusion is, if greater the positive source charge, if the positive source charge is very high, then work done should be high, then electric potential will be high. So the conclusion is, greater the positive charge, greater the potential. You may get that. Sir, if the source charge is negative, then if source charge is negative, you don't need to do the work. Electric field will do the work. That is the reason why here electric potential at this point will be taken as negative. So your electric potential at a point can be either positive or negative. If it is the source charge positive, electric potential will be positive. If the source charge is negative, electric potential will be negative. So your electric potential can be either positive or negative. Next point, greater the positive charge, greater the electric potential at that point. Next point, electric potential at a point is the amount of work done. Electric potential is the amount of work done to carry unit positive charge from infinite distance to the particular point in the electric field. So this is all introduction to the concept of electric potential, which explains the strength of the electric field. And the formula is V is equal to W by Q. Unit is joule per coulomb or volt, so that we can write W is equal to VQ. And so now we will discuss a little more concept on this. Yes, once look at this. So you have learned the basic concept of electric potential at a point, which explains about the amount of work done to carry a test charge from a point outside the electric field to a point in the electric field. Now you can look into the figure here. I have taken two different points A and B, which are at different distances R1 and R2. Now here, electric potential at the point A is the amount of work done per unit positive charge to carry it from infinite distance to the particular point A in the electric field. If W is W1, you suppose W1 is the amount of work done to carry from infinite distance to the point A, then it is W1 by Q will be the electric potential at that point. To carry Q coulombs, W1 work is done. Then to carry 1 coulomb, W1 by Q, which is electric potential at the point A, let us take VA. Of course, suppose for some time V1, suppose V1. Similarly, the amount of work done to carry test charge from infinite distance to the point B, let me suppose a W2. Then electric potential at B is the amount of work done from infinite to B per unit charge, which is equal to W2 by Q, which is V2. So here potential at A and potential at B will not be same. The reason is they are at different distances from the source charge, from the source. So if you are talking about two different points in the electric field, which are at different distances from the source charge, then you will have a potential difference between the 2 points, which is very important terminology. We are talking about potential difference between 2 points in the electric field, potential difference can be highlighted as PD, potential difference, P dot D. You can write P dot D capital letters instead of potential difference always. So here, as A and B are two different points of the electric field, which are at different distances from the source charge, so there is some potential difference between A and B. It's a very interesting point how to define potential difference between A and B. You learned the amount of work done per unit positive charge to carry from infinity to A is potential at A. Similarly, the amount of work done to carry unit positive charge. Unit positive charge means 1 coulomb of positive charge. W2 is the work done for Q coulombs. Then for 1 coulomb, W2 by Q. Hope you got a clarity. So here, the amount of work done per unit positive charge from infinite distance to B is electric potential at B. Similarly, the potential difference between A and B can be defined as the amount of work done to carry unit positive charge between the 2 points. For example, Q coulombs of charge has been taken from A to B and the work done is W. I repeat, Q coulombs of test charge displaced from A to B, where the work done is W. Then how much work is done per unit charge? W by Q. Where to where? You are taking from A to B, which is the potential difference between A and B, which is VB minus VA. Because you are taking from A to B, that's your potential difference written as VB minus VA. If you are taking from B to A, then I will write VA minus VA. So the conclusion is, the potential difference between the 2 points will be defined as the amount of work done per unit charge to carry between the 2 points. So I conclude, electric potential at a point is the amount of work done to carry 1 coulomb of positive charge from infinite distance to the particular point in the electric field. But when different points are at different distances, there exists some potential difference between them. This potential difference between the 2 points can be defined. In what way it can be defined? Yes. Here, if a test charge Q is displaced from A to B, then work done is W. Then how much work is done per unit charge? W by Q. So here, W by Q is the amount of work done per unit positive charge to carry from A to B. That work done per unit charge to displace between 2 points in the electric field is defined as potential difference between the 2 points. So work done from A to B per unit positive charge will be written as VB minus VA. For example, work done from B to A per unit positive charge will be the potential difference, that is VA minus VB. B to A, final A, that's why VA minus VB. Here A to B, so final is B, so VB minus VB. This is the definition of potential difference between 2 points. Means if you are talking about 2 different points in the electric field, which are at different distances, there exists some potential difference. Of course, as the point A is very close to the source charge, A will be at a greater potential, B will be at a lesser potential. There is some potential difference. This is all the basic introduction to the concept of potential difference between the 2 points. So you have learned, one is electric potential at a point, and another it is potential difference between the 2 points. I conclude once again for you. Electric potential at a particular point is the amount of work done to carry 1 coulomb of positive charge from infinite distance to the particular point in the electric field. Of course, if the source charge is positive, then work done against electric field. If the source charge is negative, work done by the electric field, because it will attract. That's why due to the source charge positive, potential will be positive. If the source charge is negative, potential will be negative. So we can come across positive potential and also negative potential. Right? Remember this. And at the same time, if W is the amount of work done to carry Q coulombs of positive charge, then work done per unit positive charge is W by Q. Later, potential difference. The potential difference between the 2 points can be defined as the amount of work done to displace 1 coulomb of positive charge between 2 points in the electric field can be defined as potential difference between the 2 points. This is introduction to the concept of electric potential and potential difference. And regarding the potential difference, there is a little more analysis that we need to discuss. First, you note down this. Yes, so you have learned about electric potential and potential difference. Now, little more explanation regarding potential difference. Once you look at the situation here, once you look at this, here there is a small region. And the region named as A. So if you are going to look at this, is it a positively charged region or negatively charged region? Try to guess. Is it a positively charged region or a negatively charged region? Try to guess it. Yes, certainly this is a positively charged region because greater number of protons, lesser number of electrons. So ultimately this is a positively charged region. Fine. Next. Let's look at this. What about B? Is it a positively charged region or negatively charged region? Yes, certainly positively charged region because here also number of protons are more than electrons. For example, here, just for example, here at A, there are 100 protons and 20 electrons, just for example. So A is a positively charged region. At B, there are 70 protons and 10 electrons. Number of protons greater than number of electrons, so this is also positively charged region. So both A and B are the positively charged regions. There is no doubt in that. Positively charged body doesn't mean that having only protons. Number of positively charged ions more than negatively charged ions. Then we do call it as positively charged. So both A and B are positively charged regions. But interestingly, the positive charge at A is more than that of at B. Because here 100 protons, 20 electrons, net is plus 80. Here 70 protons and 10 electrons, net is plus 60. Hope you got a net charge, which we have done in the earlier classes. Charge and its properties. 100E, 20E, but this is negative, this is positive. So net is plus 80E. Here 70E minus 10E, so net is plus 60. So ultimately, this is a highly positively charged region. This is a less positively charged region. You know, greater the positive charge, greater the repulsion. So that greater the work done. Because electric potential at a point is the amount of work done to carry unit positive charge. Now you tell me which one will be at high potential, either A or B. A will be at high potential and B will be at low potential. The reason it is the positive charge concentration at A is more than the positive charge concentration at B. So that ultimately A will be at high potential, B will be at low potential. That's what I told you. Greater the positive charge, greater the potential. Lesser the positive charge, lesser the potential. So here A is at high potential and B is at low potential. So that there is some potential difference between the 2 points. Suppose these 2 regions which are having some potential difference, these 2 are connected by a conducting wire. What will happen? What will happen? Yes, you can expect there is a charge flow taking place from where to where charge flows? Where to where charge flows? And what charge flows is the question. You know, wind blows from high pressure to low pressure. Air moves from high pressure to low pressure. You have learned. Water flows from high pressure to low pressure. Heat energy travels from high temperature condition to low temperature condition. To balance, it's a natural property to balance everything. That's why the flow will be from high to low. Similarly, charge flows from high potential to low potential. Charge means what charge? This is very important. When I say it is charge, default it is positive charge. Because positive charge is a conventional charge in electricity. So if I said charge, it is positive charge. Default, it's a default value. So here, air blows from high pressure to low pressure. Water flows from high pressure to low pressure. Heat energy flows from high temperature to low temperature. So charge flows from high potential to low potential. Charge means positive charge. So positive charge flows from high potential to low potential. But basically positively charged particles are protons which bind over to the nucleus very strongly. So this do not exist practically. Theoretically we can say charge flows from high potential to low potential. Charge means positive charge because the default positive charge in electricity. Conventional charge is positive charge. That's why charge is positive, which is from high potential to low potential. But this is the paradox statement. Appears to exist but do not exist. High potential to low potential charge flows appears to exist but do not exist because positive charged protons bind over to the nuclear forces which are very strong. So in practice what will happen, you know, negatively charged electrons will move from low potential to high potential. So in practice who will flow? Electrons will flow. Theoretically, protons, positive charge flows from high potential to low potential. But practically, electrons flows from low potential to high potential. Until what moment that will happen? Until both of them are going to attain the same potential. So my conclusion here it is, greater the positive charge, greater the potential. Lesser the positive charge, lesser the potential. When there is some potential difference between the points, are connected by a conducting wire, then charge flows from, I repeat, charge flows from high potential to low potential. Like heat flows from high temperature to low temperature. Like air blows from high pressure to low pressure. Charge flows from high potential to low potential. Charge means default positive charge. But practically, electrons move from low potential to high potential. Electrons flow from low potential to high potential until the potential is balanced, which is the equilibrium state. This flow of electrons will cause an effect called current. So we do say current electricity, electric current, which is the effect caused because of the flow of charge. But what charge will flow in practice? Negative charge will flow in practice. So to have the charge flow between two different points, we should have some potential difference. Then we can expect a flow of electrons from low potential to high potential. Flow nothing but current, current nothing but flow. So this flow of charge will constitute an effect called current of charge. So which we are going to initiate electric current in the next class. But remember, to have the charge flow between 2 points, we should have some potential difference between the 2 points. So our next class is how can we maintain some potential difference between the 2 points so that in what way we can cause some electric current. This is what that we are going to discuss in the coming classes. So it's all about the charge flows from high potential to low potential, electrons flows from low potential to high potential, which practically happens. This is theoretical part. This is all for today's class, in which we concentrated on the concept of electric potential and potential difference. In what way the potential difference between the 2 points causes a charge flow. So there is no potential difference between the 2 points connected by a conducting wire, then no charge flow. No potential difference, no charge flow. If there is no pressure difference, do the air blows? No. Air blows only when there is a pressure difference in the atmosphere, that is from high pressure to low pressure. Similarly, charge shows tendency to flow when there is potential difference between the 2 points. But in what way we can create some potential difference? In what way we can cause some electric current through the metal rods, through the metal wires? In what way we can cause electric current? We will discuss in the coming classes. Right? So meanwhile, once go through all the basic properties of charge and electric field, electric lines of force, electric potential, potential difference. So the next class we are going to initiate the concept of current electricity, which is our regular topic. These are all the fundamental basics which are required to initiate current electricity lesson. Fine? Take care.